Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode, beta episode, alpha episode of the it's highly taken. We're still getting that name down. Highly taken podcast.
Highly taken.
Highly taken.
Name is David Seekbert, based out here in Tallahassee, Florida.
I'm Christian Smith. I'm out here in Wilmington, Delaware.
Nick Smith over here in good old Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
So we realized there weren't that many straight white males doing sports podcasts nowadays, and we decided, why don't we take our crack at it? The market's pretty fresh.
So I want to start with NFL guys. I mean, it's been a crazy off season. I don't know about you, but starting off, we all know who set the tempo, and it's unfortunate. Daniel Jones signing a $40 million year contract.
A $40 million year, huh?
$40 million year contract.
40 million years.
So we all knew where that was heading, right? We all knew that was literally going to start some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's at the entire quarterback market. In my opinion, Lamar Jackson is now the highest paid quarterback in football, and he's completely overpaid. And
how can we? But that's where I sit. So, do we consider Lamar Jackson a full-on quarterback? In all honesty, can you sit here and say he's a full-on quarterback?
Yeah, because he plays the position, but he just can't throw the ball well.
So he can dink and dunk all day, right? We all agree?
Yeah.
Sure, if he's healthy.
So yeah. I will say he hasn't had the best wide receivers. And it's honest. He had Hollywood Brown, which Hollywood Brown looked good. He looked good without Lamar because he had someone to throw to. But he really hasn't had anything. So I guess we can see. But the fact that he said he's due for 6,000 yards passing this year.
Well, who did they just draft? Who was it they got?
They got Zay Flowers. So this is what I'm looking at here. This is his receiving core that he's saying he can throw 6,000 yards, right? You got Rashad Bateman, hit or miss. He's still not proven, injury prone. We don't know. And then, of course, we all know OBJ. He
overpaid.
Literally hasn't played a snap since he won the Super Bowl with the torn ACL. Then they draft Zay Flowers. Great pick. Love the pick. Great young receiver. But who's their fourth option at wide receiver? And we all know him all too well. Good old Nelson Aguilar.
Wrong.
I think you're missing his number one
Evan
target.
Duvernay.
I think you're missing his number one target, Mark Andrews.
Well, we all know Mark Andrews, right? We all know. That's without saying. But yeah, he's been injury prone too.
Dude, that fourth spot is going to go to Devin Duvernay. Lamar Jackson's been throwing the ball well to Devin Duvernay, in all honesty. If you ever go look at his highlights, dude, if it's not Mark Andrews, it's been Devin Duvernay.
I guess I get that.
It's like he was like a Randall Cobb to
But is he gonna stay? Is he gonna stay healthy? Is he gonna stay in that slot receiver role? That's what we don't know.
We don't know that any year from anybody though.
So, question: do you really think that he can throw 6,000 yards passing, or do you think he can even throw 4,000 yards?
Well, here's gonna be my question to y'all. Do you know who holds the record for most passing yards in a season?
Yeah, probably Drew Brees, right?
No, it's gonna be 2013 Peyton Manning, and he only threw for 5,300 yards. Yeah. Now
that team was stacked.
The only way I can see the possibility of somehow Lamar Jackson does go off this year, they do have an extra game they can play this season.
Oh, so he's gonna throw for 700 in the last game.
But you're telling me even at that point, the guy has not been proven. He can't throw the ball. He's yet to do it. So I just don't see how, even with an extra game, he gets to 6,000. I will be mind blown if the guy gets to 4,500 yards because he just runs the ball way too much. He's a run first quarterback. He's good, but is he that good?
Have to throw 353 yards per game, and there's no way he's throwing 353 yards per game.
What do we consider an accurate passer in the NFL?
I think it's like 65% and up. It's
65
accuracy.
And up. He finished this year with a 62.3 completion percentage.
Yeah, but he didn't play all season.
We played 12 games, so that's going to be the issue. Is the past
So
couple
is that
season.
okay? So is that to say though you add in those 5 games, does he go up from the percentage from there, or does he go down?
I
I
don't
mean,
think he goes up because
I think that's the
because
whole biggest thing here with Lamar is we really don't know. We saw that flash in the pan of the MVP season, and yeah, we can all sit here and say he's not a great passer, which in reality, in my opinion, he's not a great passer. But we don't know. We haven't seen. He still has yet to get a full belt or a full season under his belt. But to me, that's the whole reason why I wasn't paying him.
yeah,
it's
that's
dink and dunks. That's it. It's a dink and dunks. I mean, in all
Field's going to
honesty,
be better.
see, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, you guys want to, we can go over the top 5 that I think as of draft date are top 5s. I mean,
Team
going over
wise,
team wise, who you guys think are going to be the top 5? Start with David on that one.
so my top 5 teams going into the year. Number 5, I is probably going to. I probably put number 5 would be the Niners.
Okay.
Number 4 I would have as the Bills.
Okay.
Number 3 I would have as Cincy. 2 is KC, and then 1 is Philadelphia. Now it seems biased. However, the Eagles, they lost a couple of people on defense. However, they picked those people up through the draft, and they re-signed the people they needed to on offense.
Yeah.
And they picked up DeAndre Swift on offense.
Which
now I don't.
He has to stay healthy.
Yeah, and now my issue is, yeah, I mean Penny too. That's another thing. We have 2 injury-prone running backs, but I don't like ever seeing the Eagles are going to be the best team, because that puts me in perspective where, like, if they're playing bad, I'm getting ticked off. Because at least in the Chip Kelly years, if they're playing bad, I was like, yeah, it's because we are bad. Like that's fine. Like
I think that's the difference is, yeah, we're all Eagles fans, right? We all root for them, but we don't get caught up in that drama that everyone else does. Like, don't get me wrong, I love our Eagles fans, love them to death, #1 fan base, but you can't every year think you're going to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, look, when we had the dream team, everybody's like the dream team, right? We have that, but you can't base off that. It's a new year. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I agree with your picks, except I don't have the Niners in the top 5.
I'm assuming that's because of quarterback.
And I mean, they have a great defense. Don't get me wrong. Their defense is phenomenal, and they stacked it up even more.
So look, we got David's now. Let me hear from you, Nick. I want it because I feel like in my top 5, I feel like I have one team that's completely different from you guys.
So you guys are gonna hate this. You're gonna hate it. Okay. My number 5 is gonna be the Cowboys.
Okay.
I hate it. Unfortunately, they hit every position that they needed going into the draft. They hit everything. I mean, it sucks. They got rid of their tight end Schultz, but they got another tight end to just replace him that's just like Schultz. Their line, even with a mediocre quarterback, and I don't think Prescott's great. I think he just has too much hype on him. But
you can't throw 15 picks and be great, dude. It's not a thing.
You can have a mediocre quarterback, yet everyone else is doing great. It's just going to be tough. It's going to be a tough year being in the NFC East, honestly. All right. So that's my number 5. I hate to say it. You know, I got number 4. I got with David. I got Buffalo. The issue I have with Buffalo is they could be a better team. You know, now you have Diggs, right? Diggs is upset. He's not getting the touches. I mean, I'm a Maryland fan. Don't get me wrong, but Diggs wants his touches. He deserves more than what he got towards the end of the year. And look at what they looked like at the end of the year last year. Diggs barely touched the ball, and they did not look like the same team. They didn't look like they wanted to be there. My biggest concern, though, is Josh Allen. We all know he can compete, right? But he makes mistakes when he shouldn't make mistakes. And that's the biggest thing that he has, is he's done that. I mean, even went in the playoffs the first year he went to the playoffs. He was running the ball and was careless with the ball, fumbled it, cost the game. It's a huge mistake. That's the biggest flaw that he has. Now, if he can work on getting rid of that, Josh Allen's going to be, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the league. It's not. I mean, you can. Who do you think is going to be better than Josh Allen? And without being biased,
it's no bias to it.
Who?
Hurts.
See, I love Hurts to death, but Josh Allen has just got a better arm than Hurts.
Let me put it to you this way. Okay, I got you that Allen has a better arm, but let me put it to you this way. If if Lamar Jackson had the arm that Jalen Hurts had, we would be talking about Lamar Jackson as the greatest quarterback in the NFL, would we not?
I
Would we
beg to
not?
differ I mean, dude, Jalen Hurts.
I'm telling you,
Dude.
answer the question. Yes or no? If Lamar Jackson had the arm Jalen Hurts has, are we arguing him as the greatest quarterback in the NFL currently?
No.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
I think
And
without a doubt we are.
Simple fact, right here. Jalen Hurts is still struggling throwing the ball deep. He's still struggling.
Wow, he had one of the best completion percentages on deep ball and the most completed deep balls thrown this year.
But dude, look at some of the things. Yes, okay, you can say all you want, but when you have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, it makes things a lot easier. Let's be honest with that.
I will say there were a couple throws, several throws this year where I like even look at the Super Bowl, that touchdown pass to Brown wasn't necessarily a great pass. It was AJ Brown who went up and got it.
I agree with that.
I'm not taking anything from Jalen Hurts.
I mean, yeah, well, and a part of that, I'll say yes, we can say he is throwing up there, but he knows his receiver. He's worked out with AJ Brown even before AJ Brown was, with the Eagles. So I mean, he knows his receiver. So I guess you can put that into play. Like, yeah, maybe we see him just chucking up the double coverage, but he knows he has his faith in his receiver to come down with those catches.
Look, let me at least say this real quick to at least add to that, because I know if you say Lamar or you say Jackson's the best, you think can be the best quarterback in the NFL. I hear you on that. I'm just gonna let you know that right now, I don't even think he's gonna be top 3.
Who, Allen?
Yeah.
Josh Allen. No,
I don't have him top 3 either.
I don't have him top 3 right now either.
No, bro, but I'm saying he won't be a top 3 neither, because in 3 years' time from now, you will hear nothing more than Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts.
But see, here's where I have an issue with it. I don't think that's true, because and
Trevor Lawrence, telling you right now, you will hear Trevor Lawrence till the day you die.
I don't know. Sunshine himself. I mean, they don't have a line there. But let's get back to the subject.
3.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen is great. We can all say Josh Allen's great. He is the epitome of a dual threat quarterback. You leave him the middle, he's going for it. And what I love about Josh Allen is he doesn't give, like, he gives up his body. Like, he doesn't just give up. Yeah. He gives up his body to get the extra yards. Even though he doesn't have to, he does it. But the issue that all I'm saying is he could be a top 3 quarterback. He could, if he didn't make some careless mistakes that he has made. Because
can I ask you a question?
What?
Couldn't everybody be a top 3 quarterback if they didn't make careless mistakes?
No, because because not everyone has the talent. I mean, that's true.
You
have to put talent there. We all know that he has talent. So that's number 4. Sorry to take up all that time with number 4.
3.
Number 3, I got the Bengals.
Okay.
Simply put, you cannot stop the receiving core.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they're stacked. Joe Burrow is just a menace. I mean, yes, they have that off-field issue with Joe Mixon. I mean, that's going to be a problem. But Joe Burrow is going to be Joe Burrow, and he's going to ball out.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Why do you believe Joe Mixon's going to be a problem?
Are you serious?
I am, because the running back is the most easily replaceable position in the NFL.
And there's some guy out there named Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think he's signed with the team yet. So
we'll see. And that's the thing. That's why, I mean, even if, and I think they're going to go to number 2 if they end up signing Elliott. I'm not a huge Elliott fan. I'm a little biased, but I also don't think he's proven. I mean, you look at that line that he had in Dallas, right? He did nothing. Look at Pollard. Pollard was a nobody that came in there and made it something because he had a line. Elliott was supposed to be way better than Pollard. Pollard was supposed to be the number 2 the entire time. Yeah, he came in and took over, which, it happens from time to time. Elliott was just a bust. That's it. Clear as day. But I think Joe Burrow is the one person that's going to just keep them going.
Okay, so 2.
Hate to say it. And only because of Mahomes, you have the Chiefs at number 2. Mahomes he's a gamer. I hate to say it. I will say that there's some controversy going into all of last year, going into the playoffs. It sucked. It hurt losing to them. But, I mean, you can't argue with what Mahomes can do. I mean, we all know he can go out there and just throw. If there's anyone that's going to break any record passing yards, we all know it's going to be him.
William Holmes. Yeah.
So, and I don't want to be biased, but Philly just they nailed it in the draft. They
Yeah,
nailed
no, for
everything they
sure.
had. You know, I will say I'm a little disappointed that we didn't really hone in on safety and linebacker.
Oh, I thought
I
you were
think
gonna say B. John.
no, I just think those two. I mean, you have two gaps there that are really gonna be hard to fill.
Yeah, but you don't go linebacker. You don't go linebacker in the first round of the draft.
But you can't
Yeah, no,
argue.
you had Kobe Dean.
I
Yeah.
mean, you can't argue the fact that you get arguably the best player in the draft in Jalen Carter. And yes, he has his off-field issues, but you're gonna
One
have that
locker room
veteran.
can change it.
You're gonna have that veteran presence. I mean, it's just
You know, Cox and BG aren't gonna put up.
Yeah,
with
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
yeah. So and then Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know how he dropped 30. I don't know how
Injury, man. It's that injury. That's all it was.
And yeah, you have that injury, but I don't think he's gonna play linebacker. I really don't.
Gonna be an edge.
I think he's gonna be just like Reddick, and he's gonna be a menace at that position. He's just gonna be too tough. He's gonna be just like Parsons, right? That's just how I see it. So that's rounding out my top 5. That's what I think.
It's a big comparison there to say Parsons.
That's a high ceiling. High ceiling.
Athletic. Have you seen?
I think it will help him being with. I mean, we have a good defensive end core as it is. We have Graham there. We have Whiteside there. Sweats there. So he doesn't necessarily have to hop in and be the number one guy right away. So I mean, and I think BG. I think this is gonna be the last hurrah for probably Cox, BG, and Kelsey. I think this is gonna be the last year. So having them underneath those wings is going to be nice. The defense is looking young, and the Eagles have probably a gap of maybe 2 to 3 years before they have to win a Super Bowl because they're going to have to sign a lot of people. They have a young team.
Oh, especially with that contract Jalen Hurts signed. It's a loaded, back-ended, loaded contract. He took a massive pay cut the first 3-4 years, in order to build the team. So it looks to me like he is seeing what they're what they're looking at in the future. And I agree with you. I think you have 2 to 3 years to win that Super Bowl. Otherwise, I think it's a bust. I think it just reminds you just of the early 2000s with Donovan McNabb. You build that amazing defense. You're under Jimmy Johnson, fire defense, always number one, but you just could never get there, right? It's a bust. So you have that 2 to 3 years to make it happen.
And the only difference between those teams now is, I mean, the offense actually has weapons that isn't a running back. Yeah. I mean, like those early years, Brian Westbrook was the number one receiver for the Eagles as a running back. You're throwing to Todd Pinkston and Hank Baskett and Kevin Curtis, and get T.O. for 1 year and you go to the Super Bowl. So
no, I mean I get it. So we're gonna round that off. I think we're pretty much all close to what we're seeing. We're going to let Christian talk about his top 5. I have a feeling he's going to put the Bears in there. That's just my high thing. But I want to hear what he has to say on this.
So Jets.
For me, starting off at number 5, I'm going Jacksonville. I think the ceiling for Trevor Lawrence.
Where's that alarm going off, man?
Yeah.
Jacksonville's going to finish with a 12-5 record. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC South, which obviously that's not going to be that hard because it's a very shitty division. But they're still going to be a 12-5 team.
I disagree with that.
You disagree?
How? I think yes, they're all young. Every single team in that division's young. Right.
Dude, tell me right now who's going to go beat the Jaguars.
You have 2 rookie
one of the 3 quarterbacks. Is it going to be who else is stuck in the Colts with Anthony Richardson?
Colts with Anthony Richardson
right now,
or Minshew? I guess.
Listen.
Right, with all the pre-draft crap, we all spoke on Richardson. Don't tell me it's going to be the Colts.
So here's my.
And who's the last team in that division? Who's the last?
Stroud with the Texans.
Texans own the draft. But listen, no. Here's my question for you: are you saying their top 5? Based off of their strength of schedule, playing in a shitty division? Because if you're saying that, then that doesn't.
Go ahead. So, and this is why I'm telling you right now that they're the top 5 team. If you go and look at Trevor Lawrence in the first half of the year last year, and now you go and look at him in the second half of the year last year. He was a top 5 quarterback the second half of the year, the entire year. He took all the steps he had to start to make. Now he's coming in 2 full seasons under his belt. He's got Doug P as his coach, not Urban Meyer anymore.
Yeah.
Doug P, a Super Bowl winning coach already that we saw him do it in Philly with 2 quarterbacks. You feel me? He did it with Carson and then continued with Foles.
I'm not disagreeing with you with that.
So for me,
but what did they inquire on this offseason that's going to set them apart?
The only thing I can see that they are happy with right now is that Calvin Ridley now can play. Like, right. I mean, he gets another weapon now. Like, but
then he lost a weapon too. I mean, he lost Marvin Jones.
Okay, but they still have Agnew, correct? Jamal Agnew?
Etienne.
They have Etienne. Yes, they have him. They have guy from
Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's over there. He was balling out.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't draft hard enough or work hard enough on giving him protection.
Look, I understand that, and I don't disagree with you with that. And to me though, I don't think the line's that biggest problem with the team. I feel though it's the defense.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. They always have a decent defense. Their defense is okay.
No, they don't, bro. They had a horrible defense last year. They were ranked in the top 5 of the worst in the league.
If you look at
stats don't lie.
Lines. Okay, stats don't lie. If you look at all of the lines, look at every single team that made it as far as they did based off of their offensive line. Okay? So that's the issue that you have there. Is
the same offensive line that held up against Joey Bosa and that nasty Chargers defense on a 31-point comeback in the playoffs?
Listen, I was at that game. It was incredible. It was incredible. But what did he do in the first half? What did he do in the first half?
I got Jaguars in my 5. That's my 5.
Okay.
I like them. I think they're good.
All right. No, I get it. That's fine.
4, Buffalo doesn't run that division anymore.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Jets are 4. Buffalo does not run that division anymore. Aaron Rodgers is over there. I would listen. I would love to say Buffalo runs that division only because Josh Allen is a certified baller. I agree with that. You know, I don't think he's a top 3 quarterback, but I do believe that he is a certified baller. However, that Jets defense is incredible. I mean, incredible. That is the only that's the only reason they were in games last year. Because anytime a guy named Zach Wilson is starting under center, you're not going to win a lot of games from him. It's just not going to happen.
No, I agree with that. But at the same time, does Rodgers have the protection he needs?
Because Rodgers, listen.
Does he have the protection?
In the team that New York has built around Aaron Rodgers right now, you don't need MVP Aaron Rodgers. You need 75% of the best Aaron Rodgers that he had. You don't need to have an MVP caliber Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't have to have it. He doesn't have to throw for 5,000 yards because he's got it's Hall, correct? Brees Hall in the backfield with him. He's got Brees Hall back there. You brought in Cobb. You have Garrett Wilson,
and they have Robinson.
I don't think Rodgers throws for more than probably 4,200. And I mean that's a good season right there. You know what I mean? It's not crazy.
Really good season. It's 4,000 yards.
Really good season, but
yeah.
You know what I mean, dude? I think that Jets offense is gonna rock its way out to being semi-decent, maybe like a 12 to 10 ranked offense, but that defense is gonna be so good that you don't need to have the number 1 offense. You don't need to.
That's fine. I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, these 2 are 2 crazy picks. I can't wait to see the top 3.
Yeah, no,
Cincinnati. We all had Cincinnati at 3. I feel like that's the easy choice. I feel like they're, in my opinion, they're the second best team in the AFC without a question. I feel like there's no argument between Kansas City and Cincinnati. We're going to see Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes for years to come. You know what I mean? I feel like, and again, like how you mentioned, Nick, too, the wide receiver core over there. I mean, that's just Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. Yeah. It really doesn't get – I mean, you have a number 1 receiver across the board at every single one of your 1, 2, and 3 spots. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
When Chase and Higgins were both injured, you had that white dude Irwin who came in and was putting up stats.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. There are some question marks. I mean, that defense, they try to stack up that defense. They still have some question marks there.
That's all I say. They lost a lot of secondary on defense.
Yeah, but they try to pick it up. And I will.
Jesse Bates and Von Bell are 2 big misses on
100%. 100%. But we're all in agreement. This is the first. We're all in agreement with number 3. I mean, I think that's crazy. We all had him at number 3.
It's all the last 2 years. Bengals are Super Bowl champions that they have a semi decent offensive line.
Yeah.
Like just a semi, like they win that game against KC. Now maybe I would say that they would have had a hard task with the Eagles, but they win that game against Kansas City. They have a semi decent offensive line, and they win that Super Bowl last year against the Rams if they have a semi decent offensive line.
Agreed. And
But
they did what they needed to do that year, 100%. Like last year, I mean, we all thought that they were all screwed when we first saw the couple games, but they really brought it back. But all right, we're all for that. So what's the 2?
Number 2, even though in my opinion that they are the completely most improved team, I'm going Philadelphia at 2.
Okay.
I like, I mean, I like I said, through that draft, I think we had the best draft out of everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
to be able to get both Jalen Carter and Smith in your first round, I mean, that's absurd. Those are 2 guys that both belonged in the top 10. Injuries what kind of kicked Nolan Smith out of that top 10, and that sucks, but doesn't suck for us, right? I mean, he's with us, an Eagle, love it. So as great, but it's still as great as they drafted. It's hard for me to go ahead and already pick over without seeing anything through, you know what I mean? Without seeing anything yet on the field, it's hard for me to go ahead and pick over Patrick Mahomes and the former reigning Super Bowl champions and all. And hey, look, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Do I think Philly can come out? Do I think Philly can come out and be the best team? Yes. Do I think right now they are the best team? No. And the only reason I say that is because, our defense is on lock and our offense is on lock. Chiefs, but go ahead and even tying it in, though, into the, the one spot being the Chiefs, because that's what I think. I mean, you go ahead and you look at their offense. Their offense is just as underrated as anybody else's. Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Justin Ross, Kadarius Toney, and then you have Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield. And on top of that, the best tight end in all of football, Travis Kelce.
That's great. But then what about the defense? Like, okay, I don't disagree with the Chiefs being number 1. I really don't. Andy Reid does a great job keeping his players wanting to play. I mean, he does a great job. We saw it growing up. I mean, he was great. Unfortunately, his time was up in Philly, but the players play for him. And I don't know what he says or anything like that. The only issue I have with the Chiefs is they're going to be the number 1 offense in the league. But what are they going to be at on defense? Because their defense has always been their trouble. I mean, we put up how many points against them? I mean, we should have won. It sucks, but it's always been high scoring games against the Chiefs.
But we can say that in the Super Bowl. However, the Eagles were the number 1 scoring defense going into that game and still put up 45. So
I don't disagree with that. I don't
48, 38. One of those numbers. It's a big number. But I try to forget the game.
So here's my surprise. You can say it how you want, anything like that. Here's my surprise for this year. Chicago's winning that division. You have the Packers.
Hold on. Can I stop you? Can I stop you for 2 seconds before you continue?
No.
What?
Can I stop you for 2 seconds before we continue?
Yeah.
So for the viewers that don't know, we have a group chat between the 3 of us on Snapchat. David, I want you to back me up here. Has Nick not constantly over and over and over and over said that Justin Fields will be the worst quarterback in the NFL and he will not pan out?
I think that's more because he's an Ohio State player. He said that, but
it has something to do with that. It does have something to do with that.
Something to do with that. So
can you let me finish what I was going to say?
They're not beating the Lions.
So the Lions are going to be great. I think the Lions are going to make the playoffs. But the issue with Chicago, they had such a good offseason. And it sucks. I mean, I think what's going to be crazy is you're going to see the Chicago and the Lions on top of that division, which we haven't seen. I don't even know how long. I mean, those two are going to be the best 2 teams in that division. Minnesota, you don't know what's going to happen with Minnesota. But Chicago, if it pays off, they just got a lineman to help with protection with Justin Fields. Yes, I think Justin Fields is a crybaby. I think he gets hit and he's a crybaby. That's it. But the talent's there for running. He's just like Lamar Jackson. You give him some protection, I think he's going to be able to dink and dunk all day long. They really honed in on the defense. They really stacked their defense. I mean, they got 7 players in the draft on defense. 7 players drafting straight defense, which is crazy. But that's my biggest surprise of the year.
So I think for me to follow up with you on surprises, and I think for me, I kind of already said it. Jacksonville, right? I think that's mine. I mean, I put them as a top 5 team. I feel like maybe that's not as great as to say someone like the Texans or something, because Jacksonville made the playoffs last year, right? Maybe it's not coming to us such a surprise, but I do think they're going to come out here and they're going to be a lot better than a lot of people give them respect for. I don't know, dude. I mean, ever since he stepped his first foot onto a college football field, I've been a humongous fan of Trevor Lawrence. It might just be because we looked alike. I mean, I don't know. You see the long hair back here.
It's the long hair. That's it. So, David, what do you think? What do you think? So, as a Ohio State fan, what do you think about Chicago? Do you think they're going to be a surprising team this year?
Not this year. I think they'll be a surprising team next year. With the trade they got with Carolina, I think it's they set up their future. Carolina got swindled out of that. Now, I think Carolina is my surprise team next year, but we'll get into that after this. But I just think they have all the draft revenue they have. So if they want to draft somebody, they can. If they want to trade for somebody, they can. But they got DJ Moore. That's a good receiver. Well, we can see how what's his face is going to do. I didn't blank on his name. Chase, Claypool. To see how Claypool does. See if and now I know they got rid of Montgomery. That's a big name. Got rid of him. He's on the Lions now. Yep. And we'll just whether see if Hebert. You have Hebert, and then you have possibly Cohen. Maybe if he stays healthy. And they have Cole Kmet, who's a really good young tight end, and he's really become one of field security blankets throwing the ball as well. It's going to be really on that defense, and like I said, they're in a division. We don't know what that division is going to be like anymore. The Vikings, they lost a bunch of talent this year. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Packers are going to be the last place team in that division, and the Lions, who we don't know which Lions team we're getting. Are we getting the first half of the year Lions, again the second half of the year Lions? So. That'll be interesting. Like I said, I'll go with my surprise teams. You guys listed yours. Carolina's going to be my surprise team. Now, I know they have Bryce Young, really young quarterback. However, they did a pretty decent job in stacking up on offensive talent. I mean, they got Miles Sanders. They got Adam Thielen. It'll be interesting to see how well Thielen does.
They have a team full of mids.
The team full of – but they're in a division that NFC South division. Who else are you going to pull out of that division?
It's not good. It's an easy division. We'll put it that way.
Right.
Who's the best quarterback in that division? Arguably, looking at it, Bryce Young could be the best quarterback in that division.
I mean, who are we talking in the division?
Baker is going to be starting for the Bucks. You have the Saints.
Is Andy Dalton?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
He's the best QB in that division.
But which Derek Carr are you getting? That's the issue.
Which
the same Derek Carr that threw for 4,000 last year?
4,000, yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't have Devontae, I mean, I understand he has Michael Thomas. Is Michael Thomas going to play that much?
And
Olave is pretty solid. They also had another, I think, rookie wide receiver did pretty well.
What's his name? Bull with dreads.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Callaway? Was it Callaway?
Maybe Callaway.
That sounds familiar, but I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of it.
Depends what Kamara is doing. Is Kamara getting in trouble? Is he hurt? We never know. And then I don't think we have to worry about the Falcons next year.
No, they're rebuilding. They're 100% rebuilding. I mean, they lost Ridley.
It was very interesting. They had a good rookie running back last year, and they decided to go with Robinson, which I thought was a very interesting take with that
I agree with that.
Top 10.
Don't get me wrong. He's good. Let me
cut you guys off real quick, though. Their starting running back was Cordero Patterson.
No. They had a rookie last year.
Yeah.
They had a rookie who started going off last year.
Yeah, once Patterson got hurt, they got a rookie in there. And, I agree. I don't know why they drafted him, but we can all admit Bijan is good.
He's going to be it's just I just feel like maybe they're just putting all their eggs in to the Ritter basket. Who knows?
That's tough. That's tough. So leading on to it, I mean, we'll say the playoffs for last. We'll talk about MLB.
I was just about to say, let's pop it over to baseball.
Can
I start this one here? Can I start this one here?
Yeah. Give you the reins, Christian.
Yeah.
Yankees. What's going on right now?
So this is what I was about to tell you. This is the AL East, right? In order. Listen
So
to
good.
this.
So good.
Rays, 28-7.
Yep.
No one saw it coming. Orioles,
Orioles.
22-12.
Yep.
Blue Jays, 21-14.
Yep.
Red Sox, 21-15.
Yep.
Yankees, 18-17. Everyone's above 500. But normally, if you look at that, you're seeing Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Rays, Orioles.
Yep.
That's normally how it goes.
Yep.
This is the weirdest year that I've ever seen in MLB. It's mind blowing. So
and I follow you with that on it because it's just like I remember I seen it the other day. I think the Yankees are 9 of their last 12 or something like that. It's something crazy. They're just
they picked it up. Their pitching decided they wanted to start, and their hitting's going up too. They're picking it up. It's kind of like the Dodgers in that aspect, but yeah, the Yankees being in last place, I don't know how. I mean, it's that simple. So, I mean, is the Yankees what you had? You just want to talk about the Yankees because we all.
I mean, it wasn't just the Yankees, but I mean, going back to it, I mean, can you even really say the Yankees are heating up because in their last 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they've only won 2 games.
How do you heat up in that division?
Bro, but you just said that they were heating up. They're starting to get it back on track.
But they haven't really played in their division. How do you?
Here's what you got to understand, bro, is when you're on that kind of a payroll, you have no excuse to not be out here on.
I'm not. I'll disagree with that though, because the Yankees, and you see it in the postseason, they'll have a good regular season, but postseason baseball, you can't hit only home runs and expect to win in a 7-game series. And it's happened every single year. Every single year, they run into a good pitching staff.
That's the issue. When you have the shortest, dude, when you have the shortest ballpark in the major leagues, home runs are going to happen.
But look, here's where my factor disagreeing is when you talk. Listen. When you talk regular season and you talk playoffs, it is 2 different things. You can have, you go and look at the 2007 Giants. You can have a team who gets in without a winning record and they win it all. Playoffs is completely different than a regular season. I
think you're wrong because 2007 doesn't sound right because they only won on the even years. If you look at it, they won on even years, which was really weird.
2007 was the Red Sox. Yeah, so they won 2010, 2012, 2014.
No, bro, you guys clearly didn't hear me right. I said
I get what you're saying.
No, I said in playoffs, like when teams go to playoffs, NBA, MLB, NFL, anyone, it's completely different than regular season. And the point I made to show that was the 2007 Giants, New York Giants, beating the Patriots.
Oh, okay. See, but you have to let us know.
We're on baseball.
You can't just say Giants. We're thinking the same thing.
My fault. Bad communication. But that's my point, though. Is that playoff baseball?
I don't disagree with that. I don't.
Anybody can do anything in the playoffs, right?
I agree.
But to me, when you are on that high of a payroll, when you are paying those players that much money, when you are trying to bring in and year out the best players in baseball, I mean, aren't they right now considered one of the top trade candidates for Shohei Ohtani?
Them and the Dodgers, but that's just because again payroll.
And that is arguably the best player in baseball. So when you are going to be
all around,
yeah. When you, in my opinion, if you're able to throw out all that money, what's going wrong that's where I guess my real question comes in. What's going wrong? What is not working out for them?
It's the manager.
You think?
You think it's Boone?
You have to. If your team doesn't want to play, we saw it last year with Girardi, right? We saw it last year for Girardi. They got nobody wanted to play for them.
Everyone played for Rob. They want to play for Girardi.
If you don't want to play for your manager, you're going to show it.
Yeah,
it's simple as that.
Yeah,
and it comes down to that. But so is that who Christian? The whole point is who's your surprise teams of this year?
If you ask me, I feel like the Rays are off to the biggest surprise of anybody, right?
But are they? Are they though? Because they went to the playoffs last year. So are they like really?
I guess okay. I guess honestly, you're right. I think for me, realistically, I would probably go the Orioles. I didn't expect to see that kind of a jump out of them. Bro, the second place team in the AL over there, bro. It's just I didn't see that coming in reality. I live in Maryland. Growing up, dude, it's just always been an arm-running joke. Orioles suck.
That's not true. Do you not remember Machado and Wieters and Chris Jones?
Yeah, bro, I do. Can you show me the ring to represent for it?
No, I'm not.
They were good.
So I'm gonna stop you. I agree. Orioles are phenomenal. I mean, I had them sitting pretty high as a surprise team.
Yep.
My two biggest surprise teams that mind blowing to me is I'm gonna start off with one that's mediocre, the Rangers.
I'm about to say the Texas Rangers is crazy.
I mean, they're 20-13.
A poverty franchise.
Their batting average is 269. Average as a team. They're third overall. And what's getting them there on top of that is their ERA is 379, which okay, that's mediocre, but it's 10th. It's 10th.
Let's be real. Let's be real. If your team average ERA is a 379, that's good.
So yeah, no, I agree. So they're sitting at third hitting, which is phenomenal, and 10th overall in pitching. Those two as a combined, they you just can't match it. I mean, you have top 10 on both. It's hard to beat.
David, what's your thought here?
So my surprise team right now is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That was my biggest surprise.
It's been a running joke. The Pirates had like one of the worst payrolls. They don't want to pay anybody, so they get rid of them.
Yep.
And now I could argue because that division right now altogether is underperforming. I think the Cardinals are like 10-25. They're last place right now.
Yeah, it's like us in from 2012, like our division from 2012 to like
first podcast here, by the way, boss. They don't know who us is.
The Phillies. Sorry guys. The Phillies. They're like our division.
Partial owner.
Sorry guys, but yeah, they're like that division, 100%. What I will say, and this is mind blowing to me with the Pirates. All right, I don't know if you did your research on this or not, but they have 48 stolen bases already this year. 48. They're putting runners in scoring position way ahead of everyone else. Not to mention, do you guys know that there's one person on their team, Ji-Wan Bae, 14 stolen bases already?
I think a lot of that's going to have to do. You're going to see a lot more stolen bases now in the league because of the new rules, and so that's why I want to talk about is the new rules this season, because now you're only allowed 2 pickoffs. So if you get 2 pickoffs and that third one you can't pick them off, just take a ginormous lead that can't pick you off. So you're just stealing off the.
It's either you get a balk or you get a free base.
I have a question to this real quick. I do have a question to this, and this might be kind of a dumb question, but I am not too completely caught up on this rule. So is it 2 pickoffs per runner, or is it
2 pickoffs per batter? 2 pickoffs per batter.
So basically, if there's a guy on first, and then he goes to second, there's a new guy on first, we can pick that new guy off him. Okay.
Right. So that I agree with David on this. I don't like the pickoff rule. I think it's stupid because people are going to get these leads that are look at JT Realmuto. That guy is Gold Glove winner, always phenomenal. But when you have to have someone that takes this huge lead, you can literally get rid of the ball in 0.21 seconds. Yet if he has this humongous lead, you can't get him.
Yep.
So I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the pitch. I don't agree with the seconds to pitch either. I think you're taking away from baseball. The whole you get a strike if you're not in the batter's box or you get a ball. Like, I don't agree with it. I think they're taking away from the sport. I don't know how they address it. I get that they want more viewers to come in and have it like phenomenal time and like more viewers, like it's shorter games. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, nobody wants to sit there and watch it be a boring game. But at the same time, you can have 10 runs in a game and it's still going to be a long game. It's the sport. It's America's pastime. Keep it that way. That's just my take on it. I don't know what you guys think.
I think for me, the biggest thing in that, and this is kind of what I've been saying ever since this whole pitch clock thing came out. I like how it does speed up the process of the game, because I do feel like sometimes it can get very long in baseball. I mean, this whole standing in the batter's box, 1 foot in, let me do this glove, let me do that glove, let me fix the shin guard, let me fix the elbow guard, let me adjust. Like, come on.
Okay,
man.
Bryce Harper.
Right, like, come on, like get in the batter's box, let's get ready to go. But at the same time, I mean, I can sit here and think countless moments of the suspense that comes in those big moment games when that pitcher's on the mound for 30 seconds waiting to read that pitch from the catcher. And all the fans are going crazy. And there's just suspense.
Before we get into the playoffs, which we have to hit them.
We're talking NBA?
NBA and NHL. We have to get into them. Before we get into that, my biggest surprise of MLB, and this isn't biased, is the Phillies. They are so bad. It's unreal. I mean, let me just read this off. Marsh is having a great year, right?
Career year.
He's batting a 3.14. You know, Harper's batting a 3.68, which is great, but he doesn't have enough to be able to actually
4 or
do
5
anything.
games.
I mean, he's phenomenal. Harper's Harper. We love him. He's just like Pete Rose. If he's not on your team, you hate him 100%. But let me put it to this. Your batting average is 266.
Baby.
Your batting average is 266, right? You're 6th overall. You put runners in scoring position in the top 5 of anyone else in the league, yet you can't get them to score, which is causing issues. And they have so many runners batted in, it's unreal. But let me put this in perspective. Their ERA is 5.03. They're 26th.
Their
overall.
ERA?
They're 26th overall in earned run average. Okay, their best starting
Shout out
pitcher,
Harrison with the 18 ERA.
Their best starting pitcher is Wheeler. Do you want to take a guess on what his ERA is? Go ahead. I want to hear it.
He's like
3.24.
2.71.
4.26.
That's not good. That's not good.
Starting ERA, and that is the best pitcher there. And I am a beloved Philly fan. I will always go to bat for them. But their pitching is starting off the way it started off last year, and they need to do something to correct it.
Here's the biggest question.
It's going to be the biggest bust in MLB.
Yeah. Here's the biggest question, though, right? And we kind of had a little discussion on this, the three of us, on our own time the other day. For the Phillies, when you look at them, pen and paper, up and down, they are without a doubt one of the best teams in baseball, I feel.
Should.
That's why I said pen and paper. When you pen and paper them, they are without a doubt one of the best teams in baseball, right? Just going by namesake. When you look at it, you have basically a bona fide all-star in almost every position of the field. The positions where you don't have an all-star, you have people like Bowman, Stott, who one day I believe are going to be all-stars.
Marsh.
Right, Marsh.
Here's
the thing, though. What's the problem? And we can't sit here and say management because we just got Girardi last year.
We're gonna have to hit on that on another episode. I want to hear David's thoughts on that real quick before we move on.
It's going to be the same thing I've been preaching for the past 10 years now, is that we don't have a good bullpen or good pitching. I mean,
but we supposedly overloaded it.
We supposedly did. We were 7th to start the season. Now, here's the thing. We can sit there. We can keep getting these bats. We can keep putting those bats up there. I think last year the most runs per game for any team was 5 to 6, something like that was the highest. If your best pitchers has 4, you're not. Yeah. That's your issue.
100%.
Yeah.
Here's my hot take. If you put up 5 runs in a game, you should be winning 90 to 95% of those games, regardless. No matter what, those are the games you win. But yet the Phillies have scored more than that and lost games. Look at the Rangers. I mean, they put up 9 runs and lost the first game. And that's not taking anything away from the Rangers because they are batting phenomenal. But it's just, I don't know. What do you do? Is it time to trade? I think we touch on that. I think something big's going to happen. I think the GM's going to go out there. I think he's going to do his thing. That's it. Moving on, let's talk about the NHL playoffs. David, lead it off. What do we have going on?
All right, we're not big NHL guys, so we're going to refer to this as the 3-minute minor. We're going to talk about 3 minutes of NHL playoffs. Try to get through this as quick as we possibly can.
Let's go.
Flyers suck. Continue.
We have Krakens versus Stars. Seattle's leading 2-1. It's going to be a toss-up. Both teams seem pretty good. It's probably going to be a close series. I say it goes to 7. Bum plume for the Krakens.
I got Kraken.
I'm going Kraken with Nick. Let's go.
All right. Hurricanes versus Devils. Hurricanes leading 2-1.
Go.
No. See, Carolina has outscored New Jersey 11-2 before the Devils won 8-4. I don't think
last
the Devils
game 8-4. Devils win 5-2.
Let's let it be known. Nicholas is a Devils fan. Continue.
All right, we got Leafs versus Panthers. Panthers are up 3-0 in the series. I mean, all have been super close games, but I don't think they'll come back from 3-0. I'll say Florida in 6.
I think Panthers. I think Bryce Young's got that in the bag.
Bryce. And we got the last one. Knights versus Oilers, tied 1-1. I like the Knights because there's an FSU alum as their head athletic trainer. However, Oilers they have Connor McDavid, really good player, offensive juggernauts. I just think the defense is going to be decided in that. I'll go with the Oilers to end up winning the series there.
Those Knights.
Oh, and hey, guys, just so we know, I just got this update. Breaking news. The Blackhawks have now received the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Flyers got 7. They'll do nothing with it.
Nope, they will not. Okay, and I think that concludes our NHL session. So now we're on to playoff basketball.
Oh, that's a nice power kill.
I'm going to start this off. Huge thing going on. Jokic, right?
No.
Who agrees with him being fined $25K, right?
I think he should have been suspended.
So
I don't think anything should have happened.
I don't think I agree with David on this. I don't think he should be suspended. I don't think he should even be fined. He got a technical foul that shouldn't have been a technical foul. The guy literally got shoved. The owner of the Suns was trying to take the ball away from him. And you're supposed to keep your players safe. So he literally got fined.
Damn!
He literally got teed up for it. I don't agree with it, but on that aspect, I do want to say, are you able to cover him as Ayton? Is Ayton able to cover Jokic? Is it possible?
No.
I don't think he can. However, I don't think that's what's going to matter. I just think the Suns have a better overall team. I know now Suns were down 0-2 in the series. They tied it back up. But I just feel like, if I had to pick between Jokic and Murray versus KD, Booker, even maybe 8, but CP3's out game 5, so we'll see how that's going to go. I just feel like the Nuggets don't have the firepower to do 7 games and beat the Suns.
I get it, but has Durant been there long enough to mesh with the team to where they can actually make a playoff run?
Shut up, bro. Shut up, because it's Kevin Durant. Okay, let's just face it. It's the facts of the matter. It's Kevin Durant. He's good for about 30 to 40 points a game.
Okay,
it doesn't matter.
Kevin Durant, 100%.
Listen, you're gonna sit,
100%.
You're gonna ask me, can they mesh? They just combined. Devin Booker and Durant combined for 78 points the other night.
False.
Can they mesh?
They combined
Yes,
for
they can
72. They combined for 72, 36, and 36. I did the math. I made sure I knew that. Like, you can sit here and say all you want, but what did he do with the Nets when he was on the Nets team? Oh,
that's not him. That's Kyrie. That was Kyrie.
Don't like Durant. I don't like Durant. I will say it here. I think the Nuggets take that series because I don't think with Jokic the way he is, he literally can distribute to anyone. I think that team overall plays better because they have a coaching staff that knows what they're doing. They have a game plan. And you just can't match up. Unless Ayton can go out there and play his heart out, you can't mesh with it. Leading on to that, let's go Sixers Celtics, right?
Hold on, can I come back to you real quick, Nick?
What you got? We can talk about it.
So you and I were actually both wrong. KD went for 44 and Booker went for 40 in game 2.
Game 3. Not game 2, game 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. And you know what? I actually just lied. I read the stats completely wrong. You were right. So correct me. You were right.
Yes.
He did the math. He said it.
Yes. Yeah. I know how to. I know.
I was looking at minutes. My fault.
3-6. I know. So, all right. Leading off, let's go to our team, the Sixers versus the Celtics. Now, Harden is carrying the team. This isn't Harden that we know. Harden is not a playoff player. He's always been amazing during the regular season. He had a terrible regular season this year. Yes, I know you're going to say that.
Say that, bro.
Dude, mediocre. Mediocre.
He led the league in assists.
He led the league in assists. He had the number 1 scoring player on his team. What did you want him to do?
Did you just say mediocre from Harden?
Hey,
did you want him to also
let
put
me
up
give
30
you
points?
let me have my take.
I'll take.
Right? No, I don't agree. he led the league in assists, I think, for a reason, right?
Yeah, because Embiid's the number one
Will
scorer.
you let me finish what I'm about to say? He did that to pin it off on other players, so they didn't play him the same that they used to play him back in the day, where they would double him constantly. He's showing the colors that we thought that we could see from Harden back when he was with the Rockets. We all know it. The issue that I have is Embiid still hurt. Is Embiid still hurt? Because Horford is covering him.
Okay.
Yes, Embiid dropped. I can't off the top of my head, I can't think how many points, but he dropped a decent amount of points. I think it was like 34 or 38.
Yeah.
But
He's like 32, 34, yeah.
Yeah, so but his Horford's covering him. And this is the most points he's put in a game, and we barely won. Here's what I have to say about that. Celtics are taking that playoff. They're taking that unless Maxey decides to start balling. Maxey is underperforming so hard.
I was literally just about to say, I was just about to come to that. He's averaging 8.5 points a game when they're playing the Celtics.
And he's averaging 14, 15 points a game in the regular season.
Right. So
he
listen,
was averaging even more than that in last playoff seeding.
I understand you. I feel, and that's what I was going to say about the 76ers. I feel like at this point now, we've seen what Harden can do, right? We see that we've gotten 2 games out of Harden that in reality we've never seen before, right? We've never seen that kind of playoff performance from Harden, right? And so we got 2 games out of him. I've been saying this since the start of the NBA season, and every single series that we play, Harden needs to have his big game, which he's now had 2 of. Maxey needs to have his big game.
If Maxey doesn't break out, we lose this next game.
Right. If Maxey does not come to produce, the team is not going to go. And that's just how it is, because everybody knows Harden. Everybody knows Embiid. So they know you got to play him. You got to play him. You got to play him. Out of our big 3 that we have, Maxey's the 3rd guy. So you need to step up and be that last player of that big 3 to make the difference. Because
that thing is Tobias Harris was supposed to be that 3rd guy.
Right, Tobias Harris was supposed to be that 3rd guy, and then Tyrese Maxey came on as one of the most incredible players last year.
I love Maxey.
I love Maxey too. Obviously, love Maxey. It's my boy. That's why I'm saying, though, this goes around him now. At this point, Maxey has not produced the way he has to.
But that's what we're agreeing with this. And David, I think you can agree that if Maxey doesn't go out there and perform in this next game, they're going to lose.
They're going to lose
because they're going to put this in perspective. They're going to make sure Harden doesn't get the ball, and they're going to make sure Embiid doesn't get the ball.
Yep.
Maxey has to go out there and dink and dunk and dish. That's the only way that they go out there. If Maxey
I've been telling my roommate that for the entirety of the season.
So that's David, if you want anything, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. So I think it's all come down to shot making, tempo, and floor spacing. If they're going to keep doubling Embiid, dribbling Embiid when he's down low,
he's going with the real stats.
See?
Yeah, well, they're going to have to kick it out, and they're going to have people open. It's going to come down to the fact that you have to knock down your shots. Now, Sixers don't have that elite 3-point shooter.
I was about to say, is that our biggest problem? Is that we don't have that elite 3-point shooter?
Our best 3-point shooter, I would say, is Young. Our best knockdown, like catch and shoot 3-point shooter, is George Young, the minivan. And other than that, like I said, tempo. You can have Embiid going back and forth. That's Celtics' bread and butter, is a fast tempo back and forth.
Well, that's where I want to get to. On top of that, is Horford's able to cover Embiid, right? Is Embiid 100%?
Well, Horford's been able to cover Embiid his whole entire career.
Is Embiid 100% still? I would say no. Instead of dunking, he did a layup and missed it. That I don't think he's 100%. He's the MVP of the league. Phenomenal player. I just don't think he's at 100%. If you can give him another series and go into the conference finals, I think he's going to be there. But I just don't know if that's the case. Leading off of that, let's go into tonight's games. Today's May 8th. We're going to go with Knicks versus Heat. I think we can all say this is a terrible series. I mean, I don't think they match up correctly. That this might be hot take. I don't care.
Hot take. Hot. It's flaming hot. It's flaming hot. David, your camera went off, bud.
I just don't. I don't think the Knicks can match up against Miami for the simple fact the Knicks are too young. They're
Mhm.
not experienced.
Exactly.
And Miami has been there. They have way
Okay.
more experience. I think
So
Miami takes this easily. I think they finish it off. I think it's over with in Miami. Done for.
so I'm gonna come back to you on that. You take away Jimmy Butler, who does Miami left with?
Hero's gone, but I mean,
Right. You're
I
gonna
just
take
I
you're
don't
gonna take you're gonna take 33-year-old Kyle Lowry? Is that it? Is that who you're left with?
Kevin Love.
Right.
I mean,
So
but that's the
hold
thing.
on, hold on,
They
hold on
have
a
the
second.
experience.
So, bro, I don't care. They don't have the experience. They have Jimmy Butler. And if you think anything else for that Miami Heat team, you're crazy. Jimmy has carried them the entire way through this playoffs. He has put that team on his
No.
back. No.
Jimmy did it when we went to the playoffs.
Right. Right. So that's Jimmy Butler. That's not
Sixers.
Miami. That's Jimmy. When you go and look at the teams themselves, New York is a way better setup team.
They're just too young though.
Exactly.
They're
Right. I
not.
understand that. They're young, they're inexperienced. I get that. But even when you still look at it as a team wise, New York is a better team all around than Miami is. The only problem is with Miami is you're not slowing down Jimmy Butler right now, no matter how much you decide you want to.
No, you can't. It's
You
just
can't.
he's got the hot hand.
Jimmy Butler, if
I mean-
Miami were to take his team, or if Jimmy Butler takes Miami to the Eastern Conference Finals, to me, in my opinion, that's insane. Because you just came in as basically as yourself, knocked off the number 1 seed in Milwaukee. You go in and you're going to knock off the New York Knicks, and now you're taking your team to the Eastern Conference Championships. And yes, obviously, basketball is a team sport. Other people definitely play a part for sure. But you can't sit here and tell me that Miami would be in even the closest opposition they're in
this
without
is going to be this might be a hot take, guys. And I don't know based off of anyone else, but if you really look at it, the two best teams are playing each other right now. I agree. I think if the Sixers play the Knicks or the Heat, I think they win. I think if the Celtics play the Heat or the Knicks, I think they win. I think you're looking at the NBA Eastern Conference Finals right here, and I think whoever wins this is going to the finals. I really do think that, and that's the issue.
Yeah, I've been saying it all year that there's not going to be a winner out of the West. It's not going to happen.
And that's where I draw into a question is, do you reseed? Do you reseed like the NFL? Because it's not right that these teams like the Sixers and the Celtics would be a great matchup in the NBA the conference finals, and yet they're playing each other, and they have the Knicks and the Heat playing each other. So I mean, I get it. You have seeding there for a reason, but I feel like you should reseed. I really do think you should reseed.
Well, see, and this is where I kind of come to fail to understand though. So in NFL, you're the highest seed, you play the lowest seed.
You reseed.
Why are we playing the Celtics right now?
That's what I'm trying to say. Is I think all across the board in all sports, I think you should have to reseed all together, and that's it. So now that we figured out Heat Knicks, I think we're all in agreement. Heats are taking that series, right?
Yeah.
I'd say it's going to be a 6-game series. I think Knicks get a cheap one between now and then, but I think Heat in 6.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Ending with Lakers Warriors. Now we all know LeBron James is LeBron James. So,
but see, I'm gonna come through right now and make that argument because LeBron James is LeBron James, but Steph Curry is Steph Curry, and I hate how he is not talked about enough because LeBron is still in this league, bro.
See, but the thing is we all know Steph.
Steph has LeBron's number throughout the playoffs. He holds his damn jock strap, bro. LeBron can't compare Steph against Steph in the playoffs.
But let me put this in perspective for you. At center for the Warriors is Draymond Green.
Yep.
At center for the Lakers is Anthony Davis.
Yep.
Looney.
Anthony Davis went off.
It's Looney.
Draymond Green did absolutely nothing. You cannot cover him when you have someone that's 6'10" covering a 7-footer. It's just not going to happen. I hate to say this, the Lakers, I'm not a LeBron fan. I've been an MJ fan my entire life. MJ is by far the GOAT. LeBron
Thriller.
He's put himself on superstar teams, and that's just how I feel.
LeBron's not even second. Shout out.
The Lakers are peaking at the right time. They're winning this. They're winning this in 6. I really think they're gonna take it in 6. It's
You
just
said Lakers.
Lakers in 6.
Yeah.
It's just not. You can't cover the bigs.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you. As much as I would like to see go, I hate LeBron. Let me put it out right there. I'm not a LeBron fan. Hate's a strong word. He is a top 3 of all time without a doubt. There's no question. Can't go any lower than all 3. But I'm not a LeBron fan. I don't like LeBron. I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm just not a fan of him. I think it is Lakers in 6 too. I don't disagree with you guys on that. As much as I hate to see that, and I tell you what, dude, I am tired of seeing Steph Curry and LeBron nonstop. I am, but it's going to be the Lakers. They're going to probably take it in 6, like you guys are saying. I mean, they're coming back to LA tonight, right? Yeah. So it's going to be
2 more games in
for
LA.
there.
2 more in LA.
Yeah. So if we're going 2 more in LA, that's about it. That's about all she wrote. I think LA takes back to back here. I think that's going to be game.
So you're saying in 5?
Huh?
Yeah, because they're up 2-1 right now.
Oh, they're up 2-1. They're up 2-1 Are they going 2 straight at home now then?
They do. So it does. You do 2,
Say 2,
3, and 2.
Is it 2-3-2?
No, because Philly doesn't have a home game next.
I thought it was 2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah, it's 2-2-1-1-1. Yes.
Okay. Apologies, guys.
You're
I thought it was 2-3-2. So
they're back in LA tonight.
They're in LA tonight. I guess they're going back to, San Fran now. After that, but I still think Lakers win that in 6. I just don't.
I see. Now that you're saying they have to go back to Golden State, I think that they might. I think they take it in 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say Lakers 7. I think guys completely nailed it. Outsized. They're absolutely outsized.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Warriors. I love Curry.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to hit every single one of your threes because LeBron's gonna be getting boards. You're gonna have AD getting boards, and I just don't think you can cover the size there.
Balling too.
I think the size advantage is as long as the Lakers play to their size advantage. Not, like game 2, they didn't do that, but as long as they play to their size advantage, I feel like it should be N7. I think Lakers do end up taking the series.
So here's what I have to round this off too. I hate to see it, but if the Sixers lose, are we looking Celtics Lakers? Are we looking back into the days where it's Celtics versus Lakers?
No, I think the team who's going to the finals is coming out of that Nuggets and Suns game, and I feel like that's really not much of a question. I mean,
I think there's a question to it though.
I think there's not. I don't care. I don't care if you're LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Michael Jordan in one right now on either one of those teams. It's not going to work out for you, bro. I'm not arguing. Like it's almost like It's almost like how you made the point to the Sixers Celtics. That's your Eastern Conference game. That's who should be your. So right now in your Nuggets and Suns game, that's your Eastern Conference game. That's whoever wins that game is taking that team to the finals, and it's the same.
I don't agree with that.
I understand. That's cool. You don't have to agree with that.
Here's why I don't agree with that, because you're gonna have DeAndre Ayton that's had troubles guarding Jokic. Jokic is a tank, but he's so slow. He doesn't have much to him. If the Lakers win, you have to cover Anthony Davis, which he's a little older. Don't get me wrong, but he is just like Embiid. He can do it all. And so I don't think that's going to be an issue. At the same time, Jokic put up, what was it? 50, 52, 50, 53. I don't remember what it was, whatever. Against Ayton.
I'm almost missing your point here though, because if you're saying it's not simple as that, bro.
The Lakers are too big.
We're talking about a Suns team that's stacked from head to toe.
You can be stacked all you want. If your coach isn't a coach, you cannot get that team to where it needs to be.
I think it's all matchup based here, because I think if the Warriors somehow squeeze out against the Lakers, I could see the Warriors making trouble for the Suns. Maybe not the Nuggets, but for the Suns, I feel like they match up better against them.
I agree with that. I completely agree with the matchup being an issue. 100% agree with that.
All right, boys. Well, I think we've basically covered all of our topics. So let's get into our last segment of the night here, and that is our Flaming Hot Takes. We do this once a week. We're going to do it on Mondays. We're going to send in our takes, which is today. We send in our takes. Everybody sends their take. After that, whoever loses, they get their punishment. And punishment will be figured out on Thursday. I think that's how we decide what our second day is.
No, there's no punishment on this. This is just our hot takes. I think later in the week is going to be
Later
the
in the week?
one where
Yeah, because we could all have hot takes and they'll be wrong. So I don't.
no, it has nothing to do with our hot takes. And later on in the week, we're going to do a punishment. We're going to pick up, a sport, take our picks. Loser has to do, shotgun a drink, something like that. We'll figure it out for you guys. A little bit of entertainment on that.
Yeah.
But rounding it out, let's start with David on the hot take. What you got going on this week? What do you think's happening?
Ooh, okay. So I think I'm going to start off with my hot take. I'll go Lakers Warriors. I think tonight we talking about. I think tonight's going to be the Warriors night. I think they're going to take it back 2-2. I think that game is going to go back and forth the entire time. I think they're going to do some sort of lineup change to make sure Anthony Davis doesn't go off, whether that's bodying him a bit more with a bigger guy like Kuminga or with Looney. And I think that Clay goes off tonight. I'll say Clay goes off for 30, Stephen goes off for about 20 plus, and then Poole's in there for about 18. But I think it's going to come down to the defense against Anthony Davis tonight, and then the Warriors are going to win, let's say by 8 tonight.
Well, for my parlay's sake, let's hope that doesn't happen. Now, for me, I think I'm going to go – here's what I'm going to go with. And this could be a little biased. I'm wearing a jersey. I think Maxey goes for 35, 6, and 6 next game in Boston. I feel like, honestly, if he doesn't, Sixers are losing that game. But I think that's how it's going to go. I think Maxey comes out with arguably the most important game of his life so far throughout his young career. I think that's where I think Game 6 is going to shine. Or, I'm sorry, Game 5. I think Game 5 is going to shine right here. And, I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? I guess that's almost the reason why it's my hot takes, because if he doesn't, we're screwed.
Huh? I get it. I'll give you mine right here. Say what you want. Tampa Bay Rays will not be leading that AL East at the end of the starting of next week. They're playing the Orioles at home. Baltimore's home, 3-game series. And then you have the Yankees coming up in a 3-game series. I just don't see them getting it done. Yankees are starting to come around. Orioles probably going to take 2 out of 3. That's mind-blowing to me. And then after that, you have the Mets.
Shout out to you, though. It's the top of the 9th in a 2-0 ball game. Orioles-Rays. Rays are up 2-0.
Hey, no, I'm not. But I said 2-1. And then you have the Mets, following next week early on at home. I just think the Rays are going to drop out of that. I think the Orioles are going to take first place in that division, which is crazy. But that's my hot take. We'll go ahead and leave it at that. Guys, see you later on this week.
Yep.
Peace.
We'll be back Thursday, boys.
Hey.